Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm asking all of you to take a close look at our communication process of submitting the FMLA application to be able to deliver effective and efficient service to our company, our business, and also supervisors and at most the employees. First, a brief overview of the FMLA policy. When an employee has 1 year of service and needs some time off, they are able to apply for the time off through our benefits office and get paperwork which is then sent to them. They will then need to take that to the doctor to get it approved through the doctor, and then they will need to send it back to our benefits office to be approved for an FMLA leave. This FMLA leave can be for up to 12 weeks of intermittent leave if the employee needs to take time off for either an illness of their own, a family illness, or taking care of a loved one. The employee needs to be at the facility for at least a year in order to be able to get a leave of absence of this kind for the FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act policy. The process as it is now. The employee calls the benefits office, like I explained before, to get the application. After the application is complete, the employee is notified via mail whether it is approved or not approved. After they have turned in the paperwork that they've taken to the doctor to get the doctor's approval to say, hey, this employee is indeed ill, or the employee does need to be at home with a loved one to care for that person. If the leave is approved, then the employee will receive up to the 12 weeks of intermittent leave. Intermittent leave means that the employee can either use that 12 weeks of leave for a full day off, or intermittent leave means they can, if they have something go wrong the week prior to, they're off a day, and then the next week they need to be off 1 day for the leave for some reason, then that all goes towards the 12 weeks of leave. The employee's obligation is, as it stands today, is to communicate directly through our benefits coordinator, and that is held off-site. The employee has to either call or make arrangements through his or her supervisor when they are absent, but at no time do they have to give any doctor's notes back to the supervisor, so the supervisor doesn't know whether the employee actually was off for that reason or not off for that reason. Unfortunately, in our corporation, the coordinator actually sometimes will communicate with the facility, and sometimes we have to go and actually call the coordinator to get information. It's a very, very mixed up process as far as the communication process is concerned. And another tweak to it would be the employee has 30 days in order to turn these doctor's notes in for their absences to the coordinator that is off-site. So it's kind of a mixed up process, and it really doesn't let the business know what is exactly going on with the employee since it's all done off-site. There's no confirmation with the facility about the absences through the coordinator. It's supposed to be because of privacy, but I really think that businesses can't keep track of their employees this way. So the many things, 3 different things that it causes businesses is it causes production assignment confusion. Supervisor doesn't know whether that employee is going to be there that day or not. Missed time records are incorrect. They don't know whether it's excused absence or non-excused absence. The employer really has no obligation to the facility itself as far as the supervisor is concerned, because their doctor's notes are returned directly to the coordinator. And if that communication process isn't there through the coordinator to the facility, it causes a lot of problems. My proposal today is to have all paperwork done and all the approval process done through the HR department at the facility site. Paperwork can be picked up at the facility through the HR department, dealing directly through the HR manager. The approvals after the return of the paperwork is done through the HR department. The process will be looked at as far as if the doctor's notes, doctor's approval is there, if it's indeed, in fact, it does apply to the FMLA policy, the government policy. That can all be done on site. The employee has to bring the doctor's excuses directly back to the site, to the HR department, to be excused for the FMLA. Being on site, that way the HR department can actually get with the supervisor, let them know right away what's going on with the employee, and so there's no confusion with the communication whatsoever. Accurate records can be maintained then. Supervisor knows whether the employee was excused for the day because of the FMLA, or whether they had the day off or left early because something else happened and they didn't bring the excused doctor's note back. That way you can either count it against them, or it goes against the approved leave. The communication process would be owned on site through the HR department with the utmost confidentiality. The confidentiality that they're getting from the benefits coordinator right now off-site is the same kind of service they would get on-site through the HR department, and be more efficient and effective with the business and with notifying supervisors, making sure their production runs smoothly, making sure they're accurate records, they have accurate records as far as their time missed, as far as the disciplinary process. The policy and procedures, I think they always need to stay within the facility, because the facility knows exactly what their employees are doing at all times. It's so hard to keep track of things that are off-site. It's a more streamlined process of control. The facility will own this. They will actually have control over the policy as far as the employee's excused absences or non-excused absences. The employee will not have that much leeway as they do right now, and I know a lot of people like to trust their employees, but some employees do take time off and they don't get it approved, so we have to backtrack, and there are absences that counted against the employee that we don't find out about till after 30 days. So this will definitely do away with that, and this is a positive change for the organization. I really think that a lot of organizations today, they handle it on site, and that's where it should stay. Like I said, they know their employees better than anyone. They know what's going on. They know if their employees leave early during the day, for how long, when they clock in, when they clock out. They can get the doctor's notes directly after the employee returns from the next day, if possible, or that's when I would expect them to bring it in, is the next day, in order to match it up with the time missed. I really think that my idea of how to do this is the best way to go for the business. And thank you for your time.